Okay, algebra, here is part 2 of your video. I'm going to go a little bit faster here. So the parent function is the absolute value of x. If you remember the points on that function, they're -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, and everything in that function is positive. So we plot those original points. It looks like this. Okay, this is inside. It's an IHOP. That means that we are changing our x's. And we do the opposite of what it says, so it is a horizontal shift to the right 4, which means basically I would add 4 to all of my x values. This guy on the outside here is an OVSA, outside vertical. That means we're changing our y's, and it does the same as what we say, so we'll subtract 3 from our y's. So I'm going to subtract 3 from all of my y's, and this is what I get when I subtract 3 from all of my y's. And then I'm going to add 4 to all of my x's. This is what I get when I add 4 to all of my x's. So when I graph that, another way you could think about it is that you moved each point 4 to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3 down. And then it just follows that same pattern. So this is my new graph. Okay, this next guy, the parent function is x squared. So if you remember what we're doing, it's -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. And if we plug them in x squared, we get 4, 1, 0, 1, 4. So those are the points on my parent function. This is on the inside. It's horizontal and does the opposite of what we think. So it's a horizontal shift, and you're going to go left 4. That would be the same as subtracting 4 from all of my x points. So if I do that, I'm at a -6, -5, -4, -3, -2. Okay, the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to notice that this is on the outside, which it's vertical and the same as it says. It's multiplying. So this is a vertical shrink BAFO 1/2. Basically what it means is that we're going to either multiply our y's by 1/2 or divide them by 2, however you want to think about that. So that's 2, that's 1/2, that's 0, that's 1/2, and that's 2. So now you would plot those points. Another way you could think about this, either doing it that way or is locate the vertex, which is at a -4, 0. Notice that's in our chart as well. In the pattern, instead of over 1 up 1, we go over 1 up 1/2. Instead of over 1 up 3, we go over 1 up 1.5. And then you can check and see, oh, look at that. The point -2, 2 is on my graph. Okay, this one here, parent function is the square root of x. So the points on there, remember, we can only plug in positive perfect squares, and we get back 0, 1, 2, and 3. This is on the inside. It's an IHOP. It's changing my x's, the opposite of what it says. So I'm actually going to add 2 to all of my x's. A negative indicates a reflection. Since it's on the outside, it's vertical, which means I'm changing my y's. If you change your y's, that means you're going to reflect from going up to going down. So basically, we're going to multiply all of our y's by a -1. This is a reflection over the x-axis. So what I need to do on this is plot my points now after I change them. So add 2, add 2, add 2, add 2, subtract, multiply by a -1, multiply by a -1, multiply by a -1, multiply by a -1. So we are going to plot those now. We're at 2, 0, we're at 3, a -1, we're at 6, a -2, and the other point falls off the graph. All right, moving right along here. Let's go to the back side. Okay, these are the 6 parent functions. You should be able to do that by now. Name the parent function and describe the transformation. Okay, so we have a parent function of x squared. This is a vertical because it's on the outside of the parent function. Because we're multiplying, it is a stretch because it does exactly what we think by a factor of 2. Okay, this guy is on the inside, so we have an IHOP right here. So this is, the parent function is the square root of x. It's horizontal. It does the opposite of what we think. So this is a horizontal stretch by a factor of 3. Remember, the word stretch goes with a big number. Okay, this guy right here, the parent function is 2 to the x. The change is happening right next to the x, so that's considered on the inside. So this is horizontal, and I see a plus sign, so that makes it a shift, and it does the opposite of what it says, so we're going to go to the left 3. Okay, I see 2 transformations in here. This one is on the inside, so it's horizontal. It's the opposite of what we think, so it's a stretch by a factor of 3. This guy is on the outside, so it's OVSA. It's changing my y's, so it's a vertical shift because I'm adding or subtracting, and I'm going to move down 2. Okay, this guy, the parent function is the square root of x. So we're going to take this guy, so horizontal shift, and we're going to move it to the left 2, and then we're going to reflect, and we're going to reflect over the x-axis. That's all for today.